And welcome back to Pokemon Team Creation. Today's Pokemon team that we're creating comes from us from Mission Palm Marshall. If I got that right, I wrote it down. Yep, Mission Palm Marshall. Well, that's the question. What is the Pokemon team of Tasuku Ryuenji from Buddy Card Fight? I barely heard about this only because I've done another character from the series. But yeah, I just don't. I don't know anything about this series. It's a card fighting show, like Yu-Gi-Oh, like Duel Masters, like hell, what was that? I can't remember the other one, but that was on like TV for a while. It's a card fight show, and this is a character from it. So my understanding of this character is going to be very limited based on, based on what I could find. But he's considered one of the primary characters. He's a 7th grader. He is also a member of the Buddy Police, and now on leave to continue his studies. He is also once an individual known as the Purgatory Knight, temporarily. He uses a deck that uses what's called a Dragon World deck, and his buddy monster is known as, or buddy partner, is Jackknife, Star Dragoneer, Jackknife, Star Dragon World is the deck type. And he's considered like a cool customer, and not really not really a like wacky character or anything like that. So yeah, not a lot to go off of from there. Right out the gate, when I heard the Star Dragon, I'm like, okay, there's definitely something I can try to do with that. Let me check out what the Star Dragon's about. And I'm looking at that, and I'm like, all right, honestly, if I use this for Yu-Gi-Oh, he'd be only something like a Blue Eyes deck, or like a Stardust Dragon deck. Probably Stardust Dragon more likely, because Star's in the name. But these are almost cybernetic dragons, but not quite cybernetic dragons. They're futuristic, so I can work with that. Now, because of that, by the way, I never designed a team based on power or anything like that. I once had someone say, there are too many legendaries on this team. Well, sorry, these are the characters that seem to fit well enough on the team. So when it comes to the mechanical dragons, I mean, we have one just recently, Miraidon. This would make the most sense for like this. This would arguably be a representation of his partner dragon. It's because it's your partner in the story. It's electric dragon type. It's more machine now than Mon, twisted and evil, but not so much. Still, it's goes without saying that this is this would make sense, I think. Also, we have another dragon. This one's more like the white dragon, Reshiram. I've never really put Reshiram on here. I've used Zekrom and Reshiram. And honestly, in concept, I might have wanted to use Zekrom over Reshiram because Zekrom, if I remember correctly, is the dragon of ideals, which this character does have a very strong sense of justice. He's very stubborn and may take things too far, but has a very strong sense of justice. Feels guilty about some of the actions he did as the Purgatory Knight, and he'll do everything he can to make things right. Hold on one second. Reshiram. So Reshiram, though, is the dragon. So it was Ideals versus Truths. I believe he's the dragon of Truths. They're part of the Tau trio. Let's see here. Dragon, Thunderbound, Bipedal. When it's in his over, Reshiram has jet energy and uses to accelerate flying. He sends flames into his tail. The tail generation he's sided with the older brother who sought truth. Yes, he was the dragon of truth, whereas Zekrom was the dragon of ideals. So yeah, I guess in that sense it can work. I mean, he's also a white dragon, which definitely goes towards the least aesthetic motif of the Star Dragon World cards, from what I can tell. So there is that. Then there's one other mechanical dragon-esque Mon, thanks to our new Mon, the Iron Jugulus, which is a metallic robotic Hydreigon. Now, unfortunately, it is a dark flying type. The only actual dragon we have in the Paradox Mon is besides Koraidon and Miraidon, Roaring Moon, which would not have worked for this, but because it's a pure mechanical Digimon, this does work more towards the ideology of like the star futuristic dragons. Now, to be fair too, although they are robot in concept, we actually don't know if these things are fully mechanical or if they're more closer to like a cyborg with biological components inside there. I mean, Miraidon does eat a sandwich, and so they do eat clearly. But either way. So yeah, that was really just aesthetic design and motif. Next, we get his ace Pokemon, his partner Pokemon, the Pikachu of his team, Meryl. Why Meryl? This is the last one I added on the team. Why Meryl? Because he's blue. I'm not gonna lie, that's the only reason. Plus, he's kind of a Pika clone in a way. People were calling him Pika Blue for a while. He is kind of the Pika clone without being a Pika clone. Hell, he even like Pikachu has a 3-stage evolution. He's the middle evolution. You just don't need a stone to evolve him. Yeah, really. This is just, if anyone wants to like think of a better 6th option for a team, I'm more than willing to hear it. But moving on, I also put another Bloomon, and that's Cobalion. So Cobalion is one of the Swords of Justice, and he's considered the de facto leader. I mean, he seems to have the greatest sense of justice for other Mon and protecting them. This would go to the idea that let me get the guy's name again. Tasuku has a very strong sense of justice, has a very strong sense of doing the right thing. So that would go towards that ideal. It would. So I like that. Then the last one. This one I knew I wanted something to represent his time as the Purgatory Knight. So I tried to look up what he was like as the Purgatory Knight, and I got very little. But I did get imagery of the Purgatory Knight. Very spiky armor, very medieval, hell knight looking. So I looked, and I'm like, you know what? Mega Houndoom fits the idea of what a Purgatory Knight Mon might look like quite a bit. Dark fire type still, very spiky, very armored looking, very intimidating and imposing. And yeah, I could see, but hell, honestly, this could even be his partner Mon like beforehand. The Mon, I mean, maybe not. Like maybe this was like his house pet Mon, and it ultimately came with him on his Mon journey. And like because of that, he had a strong enough bond to Mega Evolve it. I mean, Pikachu is Ash's ace, but he's able to Mega Evolve Lucario because you need to have a strong bond with your Mon, not just the Mega Stone and Keystone. So yeah, this ultimately is the team I designed for the character of Tasuku Ryuenji. Look, I don't know this series very well. Whenever I get a request for a character who I do not know this series of very well, it's very difficult to do a really in-depth video because I just don't know the character. I just don't. I got to go by the limited information I have and try my best from there. So, but this is still the team I had. Balance-wise, it's actually not that unbalanced. There's only 2 dragons. Both are dual type, and both typings help mitigate some of the weaknesses they have. Honestly, the team's biggest weakness is Fairy. This team, honestly, except for Cobalion, which I believe is a steel fighting type, this team does kind of get wrecked by Fairy quite a bit. And even then, just having to steal, just still being a steel fighting means you're still going to have a problem with Fairy. So apart from Fairies, though, I mean, you got fighting and fire to counteract the ice typing, the ice type weakness. You got 3 immunities or 2 immunities from Psychic. You've got an immunity from ground, thanks to Iron Jugulus being a dark fighting type. So yeah, as long as this team did not go up against a fairy-based team and a strong fairy-based team, this team would probably be doing pretty well. Stat-wise, they're doing great. They got 1 mega, 1 pseudo-legendary, kind of legendary, but not quite with the paradoxes, 3 actual legendaries, and a Meryl. But hell, let's just say it has huge power. I don't know that. I know Azumarill can have it, but I don't know about Meryl. Anywho, that's my thoughts, though. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. But until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.